Chapter 17. The Kiss. The moment Adrian seized her chin and crushed his mouth against hers, Ava knew she'd gambled right. She had been Adrian's first woman, and his first love. With his possessive streak, there was no way he could ever tolerate the thought of her in another man's bed. She looped her arms around his neck, kissing him back with abandon, as if making up for all the years lost. They kissed until their lungs burned, broke apart only long enough to gasp a breath, then collided again. It had been a long time since Ava felt the wild frenzy of a kiss like this. Adrian's mouth pressed against hers with fury threaded through passion. Clearly, her departure 6 years ago had scarred him deeply. Forgiveness wouldn't come easily. Not that she wanted his forgiveness. Quite the opposite. If Adrian ever forgave her, it would mean he had moved on, and her attempts to reel him back would become nearly impossible. Adrian, as his hand tugged at her zipper, Ava pressed against his wrist. "This is what you've wanted all along, isn't it? Funny how you try to play the gentleman at the last second." Adrian gave a cold, humorless laugh and yanked the zipper down without hesitation. A shiver swept her body, her expression faltering as she quickly wrapped her arms over her chest. "There's a banquet tonight." Her lips twisted, the excuse falling awkwardly. In an instant, the burning desire in his eyes iced over, leaving only cool clarity. It was as if the madness moments ago had been nothing but illusion. Ava yanked the zipper back up, making a mental note. Physical provocation was dangerous. If Adrian ever lost control, she'd be the one paying the price. After that, she kept her distance. She sat at his desk with her chin in her hands, simply watching him work. Her gaze lingered on his fingers as they flew across the keyboard. Adrian's hands were beautiful, long, sculpted, almost mesmerizing. She couldn't help but think of Wesley Hale. His hands were just as striking, but warm, unlike Adrian's, which were perpetually cold. Her own hands were always chilled too, which was why, when they dated, she had rarely liked holding his. She'd settle for linking arms instead. When Adrian finally finished his work, Ava leapt up to trail after him. He ignored her plea to slow down, striding ahead. She only grinned, pausing long enough to greet Logan Brooks and Ms. Ray with a cheerful wave before skipping after him. Ms. Ray frowned, glancing at Logan. Why is Miss Ava so strange? Sitting in his office all day, she looks more like his fiancée than Grace does. No sense of boundaries. Logan shrugged, stacking files. They grew up together. I think she's just trying to apologize for upsetting him. His casual answer earned him an eye roll. You really are dense, Ms. Ray muttered before clicking away in heels, leaving Logan baffled. What had he said wrong? When Mr. Quinn saw Ava step out of Adrian's car, his pupils tightened. He hurried over, his tone respectful, but his glance toward Adrian carrying a flicker of disapproval. So he was already tied to the eldest Miss Hart, yet still tangled with the younger? Shameless. Miss Ava, he greeted. My gown. Did Mrs. Quinn hang it in the wardrobe for me? Ava asked lightly as she followed him into the estate. Inside, Grace was coming down the stairs arm in arm with Monica Mann. Both were already dressed. Grace in pale blue, Monica in navy. They looked every bit the inseparable mother and daughter. You're late, Monica chided with a faint frown. I was busy playing, Ava replied breezily, shrugging, and swept past them without pause. Upstairs, she found Mrs. Quinn adjusting her gown. Ava tiptoed up and hugged her from behind. Mrs. Quinn jumped in fright. Guilty conscience? Ava giggled. What have you been up to, looking so scared? Recognizing her voice, Mrs. Quinn gave her a helpless glare. Young lady, if you keep startling me like that, my old heart won't survive it. Ava slung an arm around her shoulders. Old? Not a chance. Next to me, you look like my sister. Mrs. Quinn swatted at her hand, smiling. Enough chatter, hurry and change. Knowing she was running late, Ava slipped into her gown. She painted a light layer of makeup, while Mrs. Quinn deftly twisted her hair into a chic low bun that was playful, yet elegant. Mrs. Quinn had been styling her hair since she was a child. Ava had never once gone to a salon. You're beautiful, Mrs. Quinn said warmly, gazing at her reflection in the mirror. Ava grinned, flashing perfect white teeth. Thanks, Mrs. Quinn, you're the best. I'm off. She planted a loud kiss on the woman's cheek before striding out in heels. Miss Ava, slow down. Mr. Quinn already has the car waiting. There's no rush. Got it. Ava waved back as she darted downstairs. When the car rolled into the Reed estate, Ava peered out the window at the rows of luxury vehicles lined along the drive. Her fingers tapped against her knee. The Reed family's influence in New Harbor was undeniable. She found herself growing curious about the man at its helm, the one who dominated the business world. The car stopped, and attendants rushed to open the door. "This way, Miss Hart," a suited guard said, gesturing toward a side entrance. Ava arched a brow, unmoving. "Madam has something for you," he explained. "She asked me to bring you." She followed him into the mansion and up to the second floor. There, on a sofa, sat Mrs. Elaine Reed, and beside her, another figure. Elaine had been messaging Ava often, even inviting her out, so they were familiar. "Madam, young master, the guest has arrived," the guard announced. Both turned their heads. The moment Ava saw the man seated next to Elaine, her expression remained smooth, but inside, a tidal wave crashed through her chest.